guys, it's Aoife from Fredby's Died Laughing, and I'm here to do another monthly recommendations. So Monthly Recommendations is a Goodreads group created by Trina over Between Chapters and Kayla over Kayla Rayne, and I will leave all the links below. And this month's topic is female empowerment leads. So just female leads that you think are, really good symbols of female empowerment. And I have a few different books I want to talk about, and I actually don't have a physical copy of any of the books, so it will be all pictures from here on out. And the first book, a few of them are actually all recent reads and recent releases. And the first book that I want to talk about that I read recently is The Dark Days Club by Alison Goodman, and this is about a girl called Lady Helen, and it is set in Regency London, so the early 1800s, and she is trying to organise her presentation ball, which is where she's presented to society and she can start, talking to men, and she's kind of ready for, to be proposed to, basically. So she has finally reached that moment where she is ready to be a wife and to be a mother and that kind of stuff. And she ends up finding out that she is something called a receiver. I think it's a receiver, and she is basically able to see demons and then take the darkness out of people's souls when the demons inhabit them. So she has to end up trying to figure out how to use her abilities and whether she wants to enter this world, all while still being a lady of, good reputation, and not trying to get herself into situations where, she could end up having a bad reputation, which could completely destroy both her family and obviously her life as well, because no one would want to marry her and she wouldn't have a future and all that kind of stuff. So I just found Lady Helen to be a really great female lead. She was quite spunky, but at the same time she wasn't too, she wasn't silly. She knew her place in where, she had to act a certain way around certain people, so she didn't end up homeless or, completely out on her ear, because her uncle was a little bit of an arsehole, basically. So she had to, kind of hold her tongue around him a little bit. But she was just really cool. She kind of took everything in her stride and was like, okay, but let me think about this. This isn't something that I'm just going to do because you tell me to do. I'm going to think about the consequences of this and whether I really want this to be my life, basically. So I just really enjoyed her. I just thought her story was really great, and she's really well developed, and I can't wait to see where she goes and just learn more about her in the next few books as well. Another book I read recently was called Racing Manhattan by Terence Blacker. This is about a girl called Jay who ends up becoming a stable lad at a racing stables, and she is basically one of the only girls within this community of the racing community and the racing kind of as a job, being a jockey and being a stable lad. And she has to deal with a lot of sexism every single day, and people telling her she can't do things or she can't ride certain horses because she's a girl and she's weak and she isn't as good as the men, and she just really stands up to her own, and she really doesn't let anyone distract her from what she wants to do. And I just thought she was really, really great the way she was able just to deal with things, and she really didn't let anyone take her dreams away from her, basically. And she just showed them that she could do, and she showed them that the girls could do just as well as boys, that they could do better than boys. And yeah, I really liked it. Another book that I read recently was called And I Darken by Kiersten, and I did a full book review for this, so I will link that up above. But this is basically a retelling of Vlad the Impaler if Vlad the Impaler was a woman. So we follow Lada and her brother Radu while they grew up in this place that was a long time ago. It's where Romania is now, but a long time it was Transylvania. And she is basically her own woman. She will not marry anyone who they tell her to. She's not going to get married. She's going to be a warrior. She is going to learn how to, fight alongside her men, and she is just brilliant. She is just a real feminist icon, I think, and she doesn't let love get herself. One of the problems I think that she has is that she does sacrifice love for her own. She's happy enough to sacrifice love for her own ideals of what she wants to be as a woman, that she won't be tied down with marriage and children and stuff like that. So she is ready to, throw love out the window if that's what it has to come to. She will choose her freedom. And, it does kind of hold her back in certain ways as well. And that's really, really interesting. And I just think as a girl who can just do whatever she wants within a world that tries to control everything a woman does, is really, really great. And I definitely recommend this one for anyone who is looking for a female empowerment lead, because she is absolutely brilliant. Rebel of the Sands by Alwyn is also a book that has some female leads. The main character is living in a world where women are, you know, second-class citizens. They're treated really, really badly. She has to disguise herself as a man to be able to travel around, and you see people's opinions of her and the way they treat her change completely when she reveals herself to be a woman. And she really stands up for herself. She's able to, she's like a gunslinger, so she's really, really great at gun shooting. And she is just really great. I really, really liked her. I really liked this book in particular. I thought it was a really strong start for what looks to be a great trilogy, so I can't wait for the next one. And again, I think she was a really great female lead, and I can't wait to see what she does next. The next book I want to talk about is The Colour Purple by Alice Walker. This is about a young girl who ends up having to get married. She's a black girl in kind of the 60s in America, so she isn't treated that well by, you know, white people, but she's also not being treated well by black people, and she is kind of almost sold off in marriage to this old man to be his wife and to look after his children. And she calls him Mr. And she lives a life for a long time that is very sad, and you know, she was abused by her stepfather, I think it was her stepfather when she was younger. It kind of starts off with that, so it's not a spoiler, like literally the first page is that. And she has basically just been trodden on by men her whole entire life, and then she meets this woman who's actually her husband's mistress, and she falls completely in love with her, and she just thinks she is the most amazing woman that she's ever met. And through her friendship with this other woman, she kind of learns that she can be someone of worth, and that she is someone of worth, and she deserves something better than what she was given in life. And we see her kind of grow and become more confident and become more loving, but we see her do different things that she would never have been able to do at the start of the book, and she really grows as a person, and you know, she really grows as a female, and she really has more confidence in herself as a female with a little bit of power, you know, over her own life. And that's really, really great to read about. And I wasn't crazy about the book. It wasn't the best book I've ever read, but for the female empowerment, you know, theme, I think it's a really great book to put in this selection. Another book that I love with powerful females is The Moonriders by Theresa Tomlinson, and this is set around the Siege of Troy era, and it is about a girl who ends up becoming part of a priestess. One of these priestesses are kind of warrior priestesses called the Moonriders, and basically at age 12 or 13 these girls are initiated into this kind of traveling tribe of priestesses, and she learns how to fight, and she learns how to invoke the gods and to praise the gods and to do all these different things. And they grow into these really powerful women, and they're women who are respected, and women who, you know, people, you know, they have more control over who they marry. Like, they choose their husbands rather than their husbands choosing them, and it's just really great to read about. I really loved the first Moonriders book, but I wasn't crazy about the second one, which is Voyage of the Snake Lady. But I would suggest people read the Moonriders. Maybe not suggest them read the second book, but the first book, the Moonriders, is really good, so I would suggest people reading that as well. And yeah. So that is all my selection for today. Please let me know any books that you think have female empowerment leads, and thank you for watching. I'll see you guys again next time.